Everybody needs a coach in life. Coaching businesses and entrepreneurs like you to spike an additional 40% to your bottom line. Michael Burt is a multi-championship coach, best-selling author, trainer, motivator, and all-around super coach. Now, from the Greatness Factory Studios, this is Super Coach.
Every week on Super Coach, I come to you and I really want to multiply your life, money, and business. Jorge, we did this first segment and I talked about this trend that I'm seeing around the world, and I'm seeing it a lot. Maybe I'm recognizing it in men more than women, but because I'm out coaching so many people, what I'm seeing is a middle-aged dude, 40 to 55 years old, no drive, no energy, no want, no. And I'm thinking about these conversations, and I'm looking at them. I'm going, here's the current state you're in, man. You got a low frequency. Low frequency is you got a low energy. You just going through the motions, making it through the day, just kind of barely getting by. You got a low frequency. Okay. You're probably not generating any revenue. You're not going to generate any revenue in a low frequency. So one of the number one things we see in our coaching program is people that don't have any money. I can't do this because I don't have any money. I can't do this because I don't have any money. I can't do this. Can't go on vacation because I don't have any money. Well, the number one thing is you're not going to get any money until your business becomes more attractive to the market. And so a low frequency ain't going to do it. I'm just going to tell you. A low frequency is never going to attract more people to the market. So, okay, so what I'm saying is I'm going to use the word broke or no money. Right now I don't have any money. I got no energy, tired all the time. Okay, I got no direction. I got no vim and vigor, which is what we're talking about today, and I got no why. Now, what I said in the first session was this, when I was doing the first coaching session that you couldn't hear, was this morning I was teaching explanation of services, and I was sharing this with Farm Credit of Mid-America, and one of the biggest things we talk about, James Harper and Charla Williams and Melanie Mayo and Amber Felt, one of the biggest things we talk about is before you can lead with what you believe, you gotta have some conviction, which comes from your why. This is why I do what I do. This is why I take the actions I take. This is why I do this. And the example I was using was really from my new book, Everybody Needs a Coach in Life. And I was saying, why did I become a coach? Well, I become a coach because early in life, I used to go down to the local ball field. Hello, Anita Hill. I used to go down to the local ball field, and I spent hours and hours and hours with coaches. I watched how those coaches changed another person's life. I watched how those coaches invested in other people's kids. I watched how those coaches took people that were troubled and turned them into people that were confident. And so because of that, seeing that, I made up my mind very early in life that I wanted to be a coach. Now, once I made up my mind I wanted to do this, then I had my why. Why do you do what you do every day? Because I do believe a good coach can change a person's life. Now, once you have this belief, it's that cycle we talk about. Maybe you missed it. I've had revelation. Revelation is some big aha moment. Because of my revelation, I now have conviction. Because of my conviction, I now take action. Now, for many years, when I would meet people who didn't have any drive or didn't have anything, and I thought, well, man, they're just lazy. Like, how could you get up in the morning and be lazy, man? How could you get up in the morning and not have something to pursue? How could you get up in the morning and not have a reason to get up and get going? The more I've spent time with Dr. Hotze over at the Hotze Health and Wellness Center, the more I have figured out that as you get older, your body quit producing things that you need to be successful. It quits producing testosterone. It quits producing thyroid. It quits producing all of these things. So what happened is you just kind of go. And if you don't get those things replenished, then basically you're tired and you're exhausted and you're worn out and you got no drive. And the way Dr. Hotze put it to me is, Coach, it's like working an air conditioner just through this summer, just constantly. It still works because of your personality, but one of these days it's just going to give out on you. It's just going to give out on you. So I see a lot of people that I didn't draw these correlations over. Man, that guy's low on testosterone, or he's low on thyroid, or he don't have this, or this is not clicking on every cylinder he needs it to. So he don't have any energy. Because I've been a guy that's always had some energy. So when you're thinking about this, I want you to think about you. I want you to think about the three states of energy that people are in. You're either dynamic, and dynamic is incredibly attractive. A lot of people want to associate with dynamic people, right? Thank you for the hearts and the little devils on there. A lot of people want to associate with dynamic people. They do not want to associate with people who make excuses, blame other people, show up every day not ready to go. They don't have batteries included. They create more problems. No, listen, ain't nobody want any part of that, man. I'm just going to tell you. So for you, you got to make up your mind. Good to see you, Dave Stegg, Austin Walls, Rob Walls, Kevin Prindiville, Pal McClellan, Shannon Priestley. Listen, you got to make up your mind. Number one, is this you? Am I talking to you today? Are you a person that this summer has lost all your vim and vigor? Are you a person that's lost all your drive? Are you a person that's lost all your passion? Are you in a static state going through the motions? So the question becomes this. And so if I'm talking to you, low frequency, you're not producing revenue. You got no good energy. You got little or no direction. You got no vim and vigor. You haven't found your why. See, I found my why early in life and really have spent the rest of my life, I'm talking almost 30 or 40 years, in one direction. So how do you become good at things? You don't become good at things by trying something one time and quitting. You don't become good at things and not having a long obedience in the same direction. You don't become good at things by starting and not finishing. You become good by seeing something through to its logical conclusion, by showing up every day with batteries included. So a few weeks ago, I did a show called The Excuse Department is Closed. The excuse department is closed. Listen, an excuse is a self-proclaimed opt-out clause. That's all it is. You could have, you should have, you were capable of, you had the talent to, but guess what? You didn't do it. And you can blame whomever. You blame your boss, you can blame your friend, you blame your wife, you can blame your kids, you can blame your past, you can blame whoever you want to. But at the end of the day, there's only one person that's bringing those excuses. See, because here's the rule. I ask people all the time, where does your future reside? Like, where does your future live? And they think it's almost a trick question. They say, well, what do you mean, Coach? Where does it live? Well, it's not a trick question. Where does your future reside? It resides in one place, in your imagination. The only person who can see your future is you. Okay, so it's not anybody else's fault if you don't manifest that future, because nobody else can see it. Now, the concept of discipline is a derivative of the word disciple, which means to give yourself to a person or cause you believe in. So I ask people, will you have the drive? Will you have the vigor? Will you have the vim and vigor? Will you have the energy to take this concept, what you see in your brain, and see it through to its logical conclusion? Or are you going to start and quit, start and not finish? So the excuse department is closed. So the question is, why? Why would you lose all your mojo? Okay, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to do it? And then there's got to be a point where you take some action and actually do something versus talk about doing something. That's why I posted earlier today. Are you going to think about doing something? Granddaughter, are you going to do it? Jeff Docker, are you going to think about doing something? Are you going to do it? You going to talk about doing something? You going to do it? That's what we got to start asking ourselves. So number one, I don't have a why. That's one big problem I got, is I don't have a why, man. If I don't have a why, I won't fight through the adversity. If I don't have a why, I won't show up when I don't feel like it. Day like today, it's raining outside. So easy to a lot of people going to say, man, let me just shut it down. Let me get a good blanket. Let me just relax and put my head under the covers. That ain't what big time people do. Big time people don't listen to their feelings, guys. They never listen to their feelings, because your feelings are going to lead you wrong 9 out of 10 times. So first question, if you hadn't found your why, Tom Love, I was teaching this morning, and I was thinking about this concept of why, me going back to my early days of seeing other coaches help kids, why I believe everybody needs a good coach in their life. It is so that they don't flounder around in their life. People don't flounder around. We had a gentleman in here today, saw me speak a few weeks ago, clearly needed a coach. Right, E. White? Yes or no? Yes. Clearly needed a coach, man. I'm like, what would stop you from signing up today? Well, I need to think about it. Well, I need to look at it. Listen, there ain't no thinking about this. Okay? You're going to talk. What most people do is they talk themselves out of making a decision on something they need to do. You know why? You listen to your feelings. Feelings lead you wrong, man, 9 out of 10 times. So why? Okay? I want you thinking about this. Number two, what? What are you going to do as a result of your belief? Okay, I got a set of beliefs. Every action I take is driven by my thoughts. My thoughts are no wiser than my understandings. How do I take bigger thoughts? I get bigger. How do I take bigger actions? I get bigger thoughts. Once I get bigger thoughts, Mitch Fitzpatrick, once I get around people thinking at bigger levels, it reduces my vim and vigor. You understand what I'm saying? People ask me, what do you do, Coach, when you get depressed? Number one, I don't get into state depression much. You know why? I stay active. I will not allow myself to get in a static state. But if I do start to go down a negative train, if I do start feeling sorry for myself, if I do start feeling pitiful, you know what I do? I get around people that are operating at much higher frequencies than me. I go to other places. I get out of my environment. I get out of my environment that put me into this static state. And static state, like today, it's cloudy outside. Darkness is static. Light is positive energy. I put myself in positive energy environments. I get around high frequency people. I get out of my little bitty town and I go somewhere else and I come home. I don't stay in a static state. Listen, some of the worst decisions you'll ever make in your life are in isolation of other people. When you isolate yourself from other people, you got no accountability, you got no structure, you got no discipline, you got nobody calling you on it, you got nobody saying get your head up, get your head out of your hind end and go do something, okay? So 2 is, what are you going to do as a result of this? You've allowed yourself to get in a funk. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to talk about doing something about it? You're actually going to do something about it, okay? So how are you going to do something, okay? How do I get my vim and vigor back, Hubert Payne? How do I get it back? That's what a lot of people, how do I get my swag back? How's Stella get her groove back? Okay? I guarantee you one thing she didn't do, sit around the house and feel sorry for herself. It ain't happening that way, okay? If you're in a funk in anything, you're in a sales funk, you're in a professional funk, you're in a relationship funk, the only way to get yourself out of the funk is through taking action. And whatever level of action you've been taking, it ain't enough. It ain't enough. I'm telling you, it ain't enough. Energy produces other energy. They even tell us that you can't produce energy. You can only exchange energy. You can't produce it. You can only exchange it. So all I can do is take the energy in me and exchange it with you. But what if I don't have any? I can't give away what I don't possess, guys. I can't give away what I don't possess. So I got to get my energy up. The Bible talks about this. If you had a lamp and the lamp was on bright, would you hide the lamp? No. You'd put the lamp on a stand so everybody could see it. You'd push your energy out to the universe. And so the question, when I wrote down right here, the excuse department is closed. If you've allowed yourself to get in this funk, you've lost your vim and vigor. Here's the deal. You got to go back to a time in your life when you were incredibly confident. And you got to remember why you were so confident. And you got to get back to doing things that make you confident. Jonathan Davis, am I preaching to you, brother? Chad Applin, am I preaching to you? Hubert Payne, give a man a shout out there on tour for Lady Annabella if I'm speaking to you. Because here's the deal. Even successful people, I've been reading a book called Don't Stop Believing. Jonathan Cain wrote the book. He was ready to give up the music business. He was ready to quit. He'd been beat down for a decade, going nowhere. And he called home and his dad said to him, son, don't stop believing. What did he do? He wrote that down on a napkin. Many years later, come back and wrote that song for Journey. One of the most downloaded songs ever was Don't Stop Believing. You know what? Took his dad because he lost all of his vim and vigor. He lost every bit of it. Daddy said, I ain't letting you do it. But here's what's interesting. As I'm reading that book, Journey was at an all-time high, I think early 80s. I mean, clicking on every cylinder, traveling the world, making buku-doodles of money, right? Steve Perry walks in one day, says, I quit. I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore. Lost every bit of his mojo, man. Now, let me ask you a question. When Steve Perry got out of Journey, what did he really do over the next 20 or 30 years? He wrote a few good songs, had his own single hit. Where was all the energy at? All the energy was in the group. All the energy was in the synergy of them playing together. See, when he isolated himself from the group, the very group that he needed to be successful, that's when he kind of went downhill, man. And he's nothing like he was all those years ago. The new cat, who's the lead singer, Jared, got a lot of vim and vigor. Got a lot of excitement. I'd like to see that guy perform in concert. So let me close out by saying this, guys. If you've allowed yourself to get in this static state, you once were dynamic. Dynamic is you woke up curious, interested, You want to get involved in things. You're hungry. It's like where there's a will, there's a way, baby. It's out there. You just got to reach for it. You wake up with open possibility. Listen, people I talk to in typical day, this ain't them, man. Cynical, negative, down. The only thing's coming next, man, is they're out of gas, man. They got nothing going on for them. So what can you do? What are the actions that you can take? What are the actions you can take to get your vim and vigor back? I do think there's a direct correlation now that I've been doing work with the Holtze Health and Wellness Center in Houston, Texas. Dr. Holtze's getting all of my personal levels back. Thyroid, testosterone, all the things you need to really, for the body to click on every cylinder. I call it finding your superhuman powers, because you got to find your superhuman powers, man. Okay, for a lot of people, that's it, man. Your body ain't where it needs to be. And because your body's not where it needs to be, your mind's not where it needs to be. Okay, you don't have the energy you need to sustain. You can't fight through adversity. You don't have the drive to get up and go into battle every day. But here's some other things you can do. Here's 4 things I wrote down if you lost your vim and vigor. Number 1, you can quit pouting. Lou Holtz used to say, 90% of people don't care you got problems. The other 10%, glad you got them. Okay. Number 2, you can start moving. So quit pouting, because I hear a lot of people say that. Can't do this. Be too hard. Take too long. Cost too much. Excuse department is closed, Grant. Jonathan Davis, excuse department is closed. You know what I'm saying, brother? Okay. So a lot of people say this. Well, it's going to be hard to sell people. Somebody else already got the business. I don't have a good marketing pitch. I don't know how to sell. Not a good salesperson. Don't know how to write a book. Don't know how to start a business. Don't know how to do this. Listen to all these excuses. Can't, don't know how, be too hard. These are things, Amber felt, remove these from your vocabulary. I don't want to hear you ever use these things again. Can't, never could. That's why Mama used to say that, and that's right. Okay, too many people wake up every day and go, well, it's raining outside. I don't want to get wet. Okay, I don't want to get wet. Don't want to go over there. Don't want to do this. Don't want to do that. Okay, listen. Number 1, you got to quit pouting. You got to quit pouting. What do you tell your kids? I know what I tell my daughter all the time. Listen, quit whining. We don't whine, we don't complain, and we don't make excuses. If you're going to tell your 5-year-old kid that, then you can't listen to it from yourself. Okay? Number 2, you got to start moving. Movement is energy. Light, energy. Music, energy. You got to move. You got to circulate. Okay? You got to move and circulate, and you got to get around, and typically you got to get out of your environment. That's why I love going to Houston, Texas every month. That's why I love it. Okay? I love going away and seeing cool things and coming back home and going, man, we need more cool things here. Number 3, you got to increase your frequency and your touches. My buddy Brad Lee would say it's real simple. You got to do more or you got to get better. Here's what I'll tell you. In the process of doing more, you're going to get a whole lot better. In the process of doing more, Cameron Bailey, you're going to get a whole lot better. So if you're making 10 phone calls, you need to make 20. If you're making 20, you need to make 40. If you text messaging 8 people in a day, you need to text message 16 people. If you're 16, you need to do 32. You need to do more. You got to increase your frequency. Okay? And the final thing I would tell you, if you want to get your vim and vigor back, you got to get involved. You can't sit on the sidelines isolated from the action and expect for your mojo and confidence to turn around. If you're out there and you're single and you're looking for somebody in the world, you ain't going to find somebody laying at the house watching American Idol reruns in your pajamas, eating Cheetos. It ain't going to happen. You understand what I'm saying? You got to get out in the world and get around people. I remember once coaching this physician out in another state, and she was a beautiful woman. I mean, beautiful. And she said, Coach, I just can't pick up any men. And I said, well, tell me what your schedule is every day. And she said, well, I go to my clinic, wait on my patients, go to the gym, go home. I said, okay, is that it? Is that all you do? I said, well, if you're not going to date your patients, if you're not going to date anybody at the gym, where are you going to find, where do men actually find you at if you don't actually circulate around where men could be, right? I said, look, girl, you got to get out and get amongst the action. If you ever want anybody to know you, same is true as your business. You got to get involved. Okay, I see so many people out there that say, well, I don't have a network of people, not a very good network. I'm like, well, how many events you going to a month? How many people you see in a month? Well, you know. I'm like, well, get involved in Monster Producers, 600 people in there. Dynamic network. you ought to get all your business back out of Monster Purdue. Well, you know. Now, hold on a second. Did you just tell me that you needed a network of people, that you wanted to be around other people who could help you? Did you just tell me you wanted to grow your business? Did you tell me you're tired of being broke? Is that what I heard you say? Because maybe I misunderstood you, okay? Because if I did misunderstand you, the only way to get your vim and vigor back, guys, is to take more action, okay? So what does that mean? You got to get involved. You got to get involved in so many different ways. Chris Hotze, come on, I'm on fire. That's right. Phil Everett. How much on fire am I, Phil Everett? I'm drinking that juju juice Phil's selling everybody. E. White, what is it? Keto. That ain't the name of it, though. It's good, though, Phil. Whatever it is, Phil can post it in here. Okay? That's because it's good stuff. I really like it. Now, let me close with this, guys, because every week I want to bring you a Super Coach show. We typically have them packaged up. Today we had some sound issues, so I just brought it to you this way. That's fine because it's more intimate. I guess what I'm telling you is this. As a business coach to so many people, and I'm speaking to thousands of people a week, it just breaks my heart to see so many people in such a low frequency state. There's two things that break my heart every week, and my wife would tell you this. One is two people that start and want to quit. They start something, they don't get immediate results, and they want to quit. Okay? It ain't gonna work until you work it. It ain't gonna work if you don't get engaged with it and use it. Nothing will. Nothing will, okay? So get over this fantasy world of get rich quick. Get over the fantasy world of I'm going to try it the first day and make $100,000. Get over the fantasy world. It's going to be easy because it ain't. It may be simple, but it ain't going to be easy. Anytime it's easy, there ain't no money in it. Trust me, okay? Now, so that's the first thing. That breaks my heart to see people start something and not finish it. And the biggest thing for a lot of people is they don't even get started. The inertia they have created. Well, let me think about it. That's what I said earlier on Facebook. Are you starting to think about it, or are you going to start doing it? Are you going to start thinking about it, or are you going to start doing it? I had a woman in Chicago come up to me once. She said, man, this is good. It's good stuff, Coach. She said, I'm so motivated. I'm fixing to start thinking. I'm fixing to start thinking about getting better. She didn't say I'm going to get better. I'm going to leave here and go get better. Right? I'm fixing to start thinking about getting better. Okay? I want you to think about that, Chris Hotze. I'm fixing to start thinking about it. Right? So the first thing that breaks my heart is so many people that they start and they don't stop. I believe in long obedience in the same direction. I believe in mastery. I believe in showing up every day with batteries included. I do not believe in starting and quitting a couple months into something. I do not believe it's going to be easy. It may look simple, but it ain't easy. So maybe you and I don't believe the same things. But if you believe the same things as me, long obedience. It was my 10th year I won a championship at Riverdale. It was my 10th year I built a multi-million-dollar coaching business. It wasn't in the first year. Okay? So quit thinking it's going to be easy. It ain't going to be easy. Okay? It's simple, but it ain't easy. Simple because do more or get better. Okay? And the second thing that breaks my heart is the low frequency that people are operating in every day. And I'm like, get your energy up, man. Get your energy up. Get excited about something. Get on fire for something. Get enthusiastic about something. Show a little mojo for something. Get some juice going for something. Right? LaDon, show some fire. Don't give up after one or two times that you meet a little adversity. Don't shut it down when it don't go the way you want it to go. So these are things I want you to think. And the reason I created the show today, guys, was because Dr. Hotze, Health and Wellness, 67 years old. He's got more energy than most people on this thing. He's got more energy than I do. And I'm always asking, like, man, what are you doing, man? He called it vim and vigor, drive, energy. And I'm like, that's what more people need in their life. And I totally agree. So, guys, thank you for watching Super Coach today. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for hanging there with me. Guys, stay in there. Stay focused. Have that long obedience in the same direction. And by all means, if you lost some of your mojo, go back and watch this show again. Because without that, nothing's happening. Nothing happens until somebody moves. And nothing is sold until somebody takes action. So have a great day, guys. I'm Super Coach Michael Burt. Listen, I'm going to close with this. July 12th and 13th. If you're watching this and you're like, man, I got to get my mojo back. Mid-year is one of the worst times for people to lose their mojo. They get lazy because that agrarian calendar, they get lazy. And they finish the year, they peter across the finish line the second part of the year. So they start out of the gates and then they peter across the finish line. I don't want that to happen to you. So July 12th and 13th, I'm opening up, Daniel Hodges, a lot. I'm opening up 5 trainings in 2 days. I'm doing 5 trainings in 2 days. They're free. If you're not in the program, you can sign up. Email info@coachburt.com. We got a link for you. We got people coming in from all over the world. I think there's 20 to 30 people coming in that were at 10X with me in Las Vegas. I'm going to give you 5 trainings to see if you like it. And if you like it, why wouldn't you sign up for it, guys? That's Super Coach. Why wouldn't you sign up for Monster Producer, okay? So have a great day. Everybody needs a good coach in their life.
Everybody needs a coach in life. Coaching businesses and entrepreneurs like you to spike an additional 40% to your bottom line. Michael Burt is a multi-championship coach, best-selling author, trainer, motivator, and all-around super coach.